our attorneys that I need to be present at a meeting with Susan on Friday. It's talking about the construction. They're talking about the selection of the CEO and something else. The blueprints, the construction design. So I was requested to be there. I believe that's kind of a necessity, not so much a priority, but a necessity to be present at that meeting. So Sonia had her hand up, and then Chancey Wilson.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Before we move on the personnel policies and procedures, I want to ask one of our district members. She had some things that she wanted to talk about just to the council. She used to be the former personnel director and also sat in this circle at one time as a tribal council representative for our district. And I want to give the floor to Ms. Debbie Bluebird. She wanted just to address us on some things. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. President Weston and Council.
Push here. There you go.
There, okay. Well, thank you, President Weston and Council, for allowing me a few minutes here. I guess, okay. Debbie Bluebird, currently I'm the Director for the Higher Education Program. And again, thank you for allowing me a few minutes of your time here. Today, I'm just approaching Council as employee, mainly an administrator of a 638 contract, and discussing policy. I guess that's where I want to express some concern. Number one is at no time were program directors ever contacted prior to July 5th to review any kind of revisions or have any kind of input in this policy. And as program directors and administrators, you know, we comply with policies on a daily basis. And right now I have concern with the salary scale. I'm trying to advertise a position, and there's a lot of debate on that salary scale. And when the language in the policies is ambiguous, it can be interpreted more than one way. And that's where we kind of come to debate of being administrator, following policy, versus what's in the policy. And I think as program directors, we should be allowed that leeway to place positions where we think that will attract quality employees for our programs. And somehow we're not being allowed to do that. So that's another concern I had. But I guess just to close out, that we should be allowed to have input in what we have to deal with on a daily basis. Some of the concerns that we have, that we run into regarding policy. And I guess myself as a Lakota person, I think that way. And this department of the human resources is very important. It's a vital part of our organization. And that we need to take into consideration our economy of this reservation, our poverty rates, our unemployment rates, and run this department like we should in Lakota way, in Lakota thinking. Education is great, it's good, but you also have experience to consider. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from as former HR, but now I'm as an administrator. Those are some of the concerns that we have out there. And again, you know, as program directors, I think we need to have that input. It's really valuable. It's really a critical part of this tribal organization. So again, I want to thank you for your time and to really think about, you know, the people that we serve out there, and to bring them to the point where, you know, they have hope for jobs. So again, thank you, and And I hope that our recommendations are really looked at when making these revisions to these policies.
Thank you, Debbie. Chancey Wilson.
I'm going to motion to table this. Evidently, there's too many questions and concerns on this. You know, and I would advise the council to actually attend a working session when there is one and to have it back in 30 days.
We have a motion to table. We have a second by Ella John Carlo. Call for the vote, please.
I have a question.
Call for the vote, please.
Blaine Little Thunder. Yeah. Jim Meeks.
Yes.
Austin Watkins. Chancey Wilson.
Yes.
Stephanie Leisure.
Yes.
Valentina Merdanian.
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller.
Yes.
James Cross.
Yes.
Ella John Carlo.
Yes.
Richard Greenwald.
Yes.
Robin Tapio.
Huh.
Philip Goodcrow.
Oh.
David Puyer. Sonia Little Hawk Weston.
Ha.
Jackie Sears.
Yeah.
Colin C.J. Clifford.
Yeah.
Lisa Jumping Eagle DeLeon.
Oh,
Craig Dillon.
Yes.
Motion to carry, or to table, carried 15 yes, 3 no. Richard Greenwald.
So I was gonna have a question, but you went ahead with the vote. Since you had the vote, I'd like to do a motion to set up a working session with directors present. The directors were left out of the last one, and now we got all these questions because the one that was passed that's sitting upstairs that they followed just kind of trampled on a lot of things that need to be fixed now. So I'd like to have them there so they have their input. So that's my motion.
Motion by Richard Greenwald, seconded by Robin Tapio. Question, comment? Jackie Sears.
I think with this motion, Rich, if you can allow the directors to get input from their staff, because there are staff that have concerns too.
Okay, and the second? You raised your hand? Ella John?
Thank you, Chair. I guess the only question I have is, I guess would still be under the old policy or the one that was?
Yep.
Because we did suspend, right?
We are still
current
under the
policy,
existing
so
policy.
I just wanted that clarification
Yep.
made. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That may not be clear. So you're under the one that was passed on July 5th.
Yeah, the one that's July 5th.
I think it's 17, 18, Michelle.
Yep. 17, 18, so that's what we're under still. Okay? All right, we move on. So we got a motion? I'm sorry.
Blaine Little Thunder. Jim Meeks.
Yes.
Austin Watkins. Chancey Wilson.
Yes.
Stephanie Leisure.
Yes.
Valentina Merdanian.
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller.
Yes.
James Cross. Ella John Carlo.
Yes.
Richard Greenwald.
Yes.
Robin Tapio.
Huh.
Philip Goodcrow. David Puyer. Sonia Little Hawk Weston.
Ha.
Jackie Sears.
Ha.
Colin C.J. Clifford. Lisa Jumping Eagle DeLeon. Craig Dillon. 18.
Motion carried, 18 yes, 0 no. Thank you, council. Next one we have is a report from Mary Tobacco. Oh, there she is right there.
Yeah, finance, we had 3 on the agenda here.
Yep.
And I do got a copy of the the ordinance that was coming through from Wounded Knee, from the,
From the Crazy Horse Planning Commission?
Yeah, Crazy
Okay.
Horse, so
All right,
that's
well,
with your
we'll do that
record.
one right after this. Hi. Good afternoon. Where's our? Pushed along.
Thank you. In 2015,
Mary, for the record,
yes,
please state your name.
good
And what you do.
afternoon. Mary Tobacco, Machapi, Mnihuha, El Watinaha, Lila, Ampetuki, Le Washte, Wopila Iuha, Ichichuna. Thank you for listening to my report. In 2015, several council people gave us money to start youth baseball. So in 2015, we had $11,500, and I think that was Rich Greenwald, Johnny Carlo, Robin Tapio, Jackie Sears gave us money to start youth baseball in 2015. And so we had $11,500, and then another organization gave us $2,400. So for 2015, it was $13,900 total. And then from there, the next year, 2016, the council authorized $30,000 for youth baseball, and an additional $4,000 to support the tournament for the Veterans Powwow. And then in 2017, the Tribal Council authorized another bunch of money for youth baseball. So it's about $37,600. $4,000 was for the Oglala Nation, and then another amount was set aside for the Veterans Wachipi. So the total amount for youth baseball from the Oglala Sioux tribe for the last 3 years was $83,100. And then the money was spent for teams. $43,921 was spent on teams. Whenever we spend money on teams, we help them with gas money to get to the fields, give them money to buy their kids water and drinks, and then we pay their coaches. But the coaches basically use their money for gas money to get here and there. And then we pay a coordinator to host all of the games. So the money goes, all of that went back to them. And then for equipment, baseball, I've said it before, is a really, really expensive sport. One really good glove could be about $60. And then you have to buy all of the pads and everything for all of the players. So it's pretty expensive. So equipment, we spent $37,998 on equipment for the last 3 years. And then I put my name on there because I've received, over the last 3 years, $1,890 for running back and forth to pick up equipment and stuff like that. So all of these costs right here, I have receipts. And then our biggest support were like Chuck Long Soldier and Ted Standing Soldier. And then people in the communities like Melissa Blacksmith. And then you all know who your coaches are that load 15 or 20 kids up in a car, and then we'll drive them to the baseball field. So just for 2017, if you look on the back page, just for the number of youth that participated for the whole summer, and this is just 2017, it was 845 kids that played baseball throughout this past summer. And then we had teams from 11 districts total, and then the umpires are usually adults that work the games, so we were able to pay umpires, and then coaches too. So we were able to pay coaches for taking their kids back and forth. So every one of these expenses for 2018, we carry forward about $1,700 to go into 2018. So that's my report. Every cost has a receipt. Every person that receives money signs a check. And then all of the coordinators have to keep track of the number of teams that participate in their tournaments. We've run the Veterans Wachipi the last 2 years, Oglala Nation this year, and we've supported people traveling to different places. So all of those costs are in there. So that's my report.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Mary. Ella John had her hand in here.
I just want to say thank you, Mary, for doing an outstanding job. You know, we really appreciate it, and we appreciate all of these individuals who are involved with our youth, to the coaches, to the umpires, everybody, and to our young people who participate. So I just want to say thank you. Job well done.
Thank you. Thank you all for making it happen. And I would just request a little bit of your time tomorrow morning, if it's possible, because I know you're meeting tomorrow too. Because I have a gift for everybody, but I just have to go after it. So if I could have tomorrow morning, whenever you start, if that's all right.
Sure, we can do that.
Is that okay?
When we reconvene.
Yes.
Sonia Weston.
I just want to make a motion to accept Mary's report from the Finance Committee.
Motion to accept Mary Tobacco's report, seconded by Collins Clifford. Call for the vote, please.
Yes. They didn't make it all.
Blaine Little Thunder,
Oh.
Jim Meeks,
Yes.
Austin Watkins, Chancey Wilson,
Yes.
Stephanie Leisure,
Yes.
Valentina Merdanian,
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller,
Yes.
James Cross, Ella Giancarlo,
Yes.
Richard Greenwell,
Yes.
Robin Tapio, Philip Goodcrow,
Oh,
David Puyer, Sonia Lilhawk Weston,
Ha.
Jackie Sears,
Ha.
Colin C.J. Clifford,
How?
Lisa Jumping Eagle DeLeon, Craig Dillon.
Motion carried, 18 yes. Thank you, council.
She said she's making copies for you all.
Okay.
Pick them. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mary.
Okay, we have one more for the Finance Committee, and it's the ordinance. Ordinance of the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council of the Oglala Sioux Tribe in an unincorporated tribe. Ordinance of the Oglala Sioux Tribe Council repealing, superseding, and rescinding ordinance number 1508, authorizing the allocation of funds to the districts, and ordinance number 1408, allocating $125,000 per month from casino revenue to be split among the districts based on availability of funds, and replacing those ordinance with the Oglala Sioux Tribe's ordinance, which will be the new one here, allocating $125,000 per month from the casino allocations to be split from the district allocation fund between the districts per the conditions set forth below based on availability of funds from the casino revenue. Whereas the Oglala Sioux Tribe adopted its constitution and bylaws by referendum vote on December 14, 1935, in accordance with Section 16 of the Indian Reorganization Act of 1934, 25 U.S.C. subsection 5123, and under Article 3 of the Oglala Sioux Tribe Constitution, and the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council is the governing body of the Oglala Sioux Tribe. Whereas under Article 4, Section 1 of the Oglala Sioux Tribe Constitution, the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council, governing body of the Oglala Sioux Tribe, is vested with the authority to regulate the activities of associations thus chartered by the Tribal Council, or any other associations of members of the tribe which are indebted to the tribe. ID and Whereas on July 13, 2017, the Finance Committee met and resolved to recommend that the Tribal Council repeal, supersede, and rescind OST Ordinance Number 1508, authorizing the allocation of funds to the districts, and OST Ordinance Number 1408, allocating $125,000 per month from casino revenue to be split among the districts based on availability of funds, and replace those ordinances with this ordinance allocating $125,000 a month from the casino revenue to be split among the districts per the conditions set forth below based on availability of funds from casino revenues. Now therefore be it ordained that the OST Tribal Council hereby adopts the recommendation of the Oglala Sioux Tribe Law and Order Committee. I think that's supposed to be the Finance Committee. And hereby authorizes and directs that repealing, superseding, and rescinding Oglala Sioux Tribe hereinafter OST. OST Ordinance Number 1508, authorizing the allocation of funds to the districts. The OST Ordinance Number 1408, allocating $125,000 per month from casino revenue to be split among the districts based on availability of funds, and replacing those ordinances with OST Ordinance Number allocating $125,000 per month from the casino revenue to be split among the districts per the conditions set forth below and incorporated herein by reference as if fully set forth below based on the availability of funds from the casino revenue ID. Section 101, the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council hereby authorizes the allocation and distribution of $125,000 to the districts under the following conditions. Conditions precedent to funding hereunder. Is that I? A? Or is that 1? 1A, all districts must come into compliance with tribal law. All districts must be in and remain in compliance with tribal law to receive the higher allocation. 1B, this increased funding is based solely on the availability of funds from the casino revenue. Number 2, Pine Ridge District and Medicine Root District. Each of these two districts is allocated $17,000 per month, subject to the conditions precedent set forth above. Lake Creek District, Oglala District, Pass Creek District, Porcupine District, Eagle Nest District, Wakbamani District, Wounded Knee District. Each of these 7 districts is allocated $13,000 per month, subject to the condition precedent set forth above. Section 102, to be eligible for a monthly allocation, each district shall be in compliance with tribal law, adopt and uniformly implement a policy for distributing district funds with documentation to the resident district elders, youth, and to support the educational endeavors of each district residents. Such funding shall be distributed to enrolled members of the Oglala Sioux Tribe residing in the district where they seek financial assistance. Section 103, subsection 1, construction. Nothing contained in this ordinance or regulation promulgated hereunder shall be construed to diminish, limit, or otherwise adversely affect any right or remedy now held or available to the Oglala Sioux Tribe except as provided herein. Subsection 2, severability. If any provisions of this ordinance number or any application of its provisions to any person or circumstance are held invalid, the application of that provision or section of this ordinance number to other persons or circumstances and the remaining provisions of this ordinance shall not be affected thereby. Subsection 3, savings clause. Nothing in this ordinance number shall be deemed to affect, modify, amend, or repeal any revisions of any other tribal code ordinance, or regulation administered by the council or any other department, board, or agency of the Oglala Sioux Tribe, except set forth in this ordinance number. Section 4, applicability. This ordinance number shall take effect immediately and shall apply to all pending and future actions concerning the 9 districts and their funding by the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council. Section 5, repeal of prior ordinance 07-24, etc. This ordinance number supersedes, repeals, and replaces all prior enactments concerning the OST court rules of the Oglala Sioux Tribe, including without limitation the OST ordinance number 15-8 and OST ordinance 1408. Subsection 6, notice of enactment of ordinance. To ensure all persons and entities affected by this enactment of this district funds allocation and distribution ordinance number receive adequate notice of the enactment of this ordinance. Public notices shall be provided of this ordinance by publication by the tribal secretary for at least 30 days following the enactment, by publication in at least one regularly published newspaper publicly circulated within the reservation boundaries. Act of March 2nd, 1889, subsection 1, 25 Statute 888, boundaries of the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, Oglala, Lakota, Oyankre, at least once each consecutive week for 30 days consecutive period. Therefore, I move.
We need some clarification on the numbers that need to be inserted in the blanks. So these, yeah, and so I just for clarification, that's what we're doing. So then, if you go to the last page, 17-blank.
That's on page 3.
On page 3. Is that going to be this one as well? Okay. Robin Tapio.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a correction on the section 102. I think we need to omit the words for and a, because it should just read to be eligible monthly each district. We don't need the word for to be eligible for a monthly each district, because it doesn't sound good. Thank you.
Okay. Who was first? I did. Okay, go ahead. Stephanie.
My motion is to table this to take it back to our districts.
You have a motion to table and take back to your district. Okay. We have a motion on the floor with a second. Motion by Stephanie Leisure, seconded by Tina Merdanian, to table and to take back to their district. Call for the vote, please.
Blaine Little Thunder.
Yeah.
Jim Meeks.
No. We want the
Austin
money.
Watkins. Chancey Wilson.
No.
Stephanie Leisure.
Yes.
Valentina Merdanian.
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller.
No.
James Cross.
No.
Ella Giancarlo.
No.
Richard Greenwald.
No.
Robin Tapio.
Yeah.
Philip Goodcrow.
Yeah.
David Puyer. Sonia Little Hawk Weston.
Yeah.
Jackie Sears.
Here.
Colin C.J. Clifford.
Yeah.
Lisa Jumping Eagle DeLeon.
Yeah.
Craig Dillon.
No.
Motion did fail, 2 yes, 17 no. So we go back to our motion to approve,
Yeah, I made a motion to approve this.
seconded by Collins Clifford. Call for the vote, please. Question.
based upon this ordinance, it supersede all the other ordinances, and that when we come to each district should have in place a financial policy manual that falls in line with the tribal policy financial manual. And right now, the way it looks and the way it sounds is some of the districts may have it set up, but we haven't reviewed those policy manuals to see if they're in compliance with the tribal procurement manual or financial management manual. And also, with that being said, the districts have to understand that no longer, if this is the case, no longer will there be allocations, quarterly allocations for youth and elderly, because it'll be lumped into one amount, and it's up to the district to develop a budget and how those allocations will be spent. Now, given the casino's allocation of $125,000, this is based upon availability of funds. And right now, the way things are going doesn't mean the casino will generate that revenue on a regular, consistent basis. So therefore, if the casino does not generate those revenues, then the districts will not get their allocation. And the districts need to understand that. The way it's operating and set up now is there's a little bit of leeway, which allows for the tribe to go ahead when the casino can't pay in there. It allows for the tribe to go ahead and still issue that monthly allocation the way it's set up now, because there's a little bit of buffer in there, which allows for that to happen. If we take away that buffer, that means when there's no revenue, that means the districts get no allocation. And so what I'm saying is that we talk about policies and procedures, we talk about regulations as legislators to enforce it and to move it forward or enhance it and improve it. Right now, what we're seeing is basically no communication going back to our districts. And a lot of us get really upset when others try to enforce something upon us. But that's what we're doing with our people, because they don't really have a chance to understand what this all means financially and how it's going to affect the districts. And if the districts are all the same, then we should all get the same amount.
Not all the same.
But we're not saying that. We're not saying that. We're not saying that in this. So what I'm saying is we have no true formula either.
No, we don't.
To define that we're not different or that
It
we
is
are the
based
same.
upon the eligibility of the enrollment of each district, and that's why it is set up the way as such. And
Yes.
through Constitution, through eligibility votes from past administrations. I can remember when Medicine Root just took theirs in 2012. It took them that long to start their process through 2 administrations to be able to get 3 representatives based on their enrollment. And that's the way that this is coming through now, from the recommendation from Finance Committee. And everybody that was within the Finance Committee should have been there, should have taken us to their district membership from the get-go, and then that's where we are. So we have a motion on the floor. Motion on the floor by Jackie Sears, seconded by Collins Clifford. Let's call for the vote, please. Let's call for the vote, please.
Blaine Little Thunder,
Oh.
Jim Meeks,
Yes.
Austin Watkins, Chancey Wilson,
Yes.
Stephanie Leisure,
No.
Valentina Merdanian,
No.
Lydia Bearkiller,
Yes.
James Cross,
Yes.
Ella Giancarlo,
Yes.
Richard Greenwald,
Yes.
Robin Tapio,
Huh.
Philip Goodcrow,
Oh.
David Puyer, Sonia Little Hawk Weston,
Ha.
Jackie Sears,
Huh.
Colin C.J. Clifford,
How?
Lisa Jumping Eagle DeLeon, Craig Dillon.
Yes.
How much is that? 16.
Motion carried, 16 yes and 2 no.
That's all we have. Thank you.
All for finance.
Until we get to the 2/3.
Okay, yes, on the regular agenda. It's on the agenda back here. Way later. We'd probably go into 2 weeks from now. Okay. We have next the OST Health and Human Services Committee that has 2. We have 1 because we're waiting on the 4E report back. That's supposed to come tomorrow. So HHS, you have 1.
Okay, we have ordinance of the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council of the Oglala Sioux Tribe and unincorporated tribe. Ordinance of the Tribal Council of the Oglala Sioux Tribe approving the 2017 amendments to the Oglala Sioux Tribal Enrollment Code, Chapter 16 of the OST Law and Order Code, and rescinds all prior tribal enrollment codes enacted by the Oglala Sioux Tribe. Whereas the Oglala Sioux Tribe has adopted its constitution and bylaws by referendum on December 14, 1935, in accordance with Section 16 of the Indian Reorganization Act of 1934, 25 U.S.C. 5123, and under Article 3 of the Oglala Sioux Tribe's Constitution, and the Tribal Council is the governing body of the Oglala Sioux Tribe. And whereas the Tribal Council is empowered under Article 4, Section 1J of the Constitution to enact resolutions or ordinances not inconsistent with Article 2 of the Constitution concerning membership in the Oglala Sioux Tribe, and in Section 1W to adopt laws protecting and promoting the health and general welfare of the Oglala Sioux Tribe and its membership. And under Article 2, membership, Section 2 provides that the Tribal Council shall have the authority to adopt laws covering future membership. And whereas Article 4, Section 1T of the Oglala Sioux Tribal Constitution authorizes the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council to delegate to subordinate boards or officers any of the enumerated powers in Article 4, Section 1, reserving the right to review any action taken by virtue of such delegated power. And whereas the Health and Human Service Committee is a standing committee of the Oglala Sioux Tribe and has delegated authority to revise and publish the code for public comment. And whereas the Health and Human Service Committee met on September 8th and 9th, 2017 with the Enrollment Committee present and recommend approval of the 2017 amendments to the Enrollment Code contained in the Oglala Sioux Tribe's Enrollment Code, Chapter 16 of the Oglala Sioux Tribe Law and Order Code, and refers to the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council for final approval. And whereas the Enrollment Code was published in the local newspaper on the tribe's website for public comment as required by the code, and therefore be it ordained that the Tribal Council of the Oglala Sioux Tribe hereby approves the 2017 amendments to the OST Enrollment Code, Chapter 16 of the Oglala Sioux Tribe's Law and Order Code, and be it further ordained that the Tribal Council of the Oglala Sioux Tribe hereby rescinds any prior OST Enrollment Code, and be it further ordained that inconsistent provisions of any other ordinances, resolutions, code, or other laws enacted prior to this date are hereby rescinded. And be it further ordained that the 2017 amendments to the Enrollment Code shall be effective on the date the President of the Oglala Sioux Tribe signs the document. With that, I move.
We have a motion by Lydia Bearkiller. Your comment? We have seconded by Lisa Jopenigal. Oh, you got another comment too? Comment or question? Jackie
Yeah.
Sears.
I have a question, a comment on this, because I think we met on this and we approved the code, but we're going to come into the same situation. We didn't hear from the public yet. We didn't get the input. It's going to come back, and we're going to be bringing it back again with amendments. So I think we should let that process play out first, you know, because it's just not being advertised out there and for people to come back with their input. So I'm going to make a motion to table until that process is done.
We have
so
a
we don't-
motion to table. We have a second. That's your second. by Lisa Jumping Eagle De Leon. Call for the vote, please.
Blaine Little Thunder,
Oh.
Jim Meeks,
Yes.
Austin Watkins, Chancey Wilson,
No.
Stephanie Leisure,
Yes.
Valentina Merdanian,
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller,
No.
James Cross,
No.
Ella Giancarlo,
No.
Richard Greenwell,
No.
Robin Tapio,
Yeah.
Philip Goodcrow,
No.
David Puyer, Sonia Little Hawk Weston, Jackie Sears,
Huh.
Colin C.J. Clifford,
Here.
Lisa Jumping Eagle De Leon.
Yeah.
What?
What?
She seconded.
Yeah.
Craig Dillon.
No.
I know she seconded.
Oh, come on now. Don't let somebody tell you what to do.
Sorry.
I'd like to change my vote to Oha.
Tribal council, if you say yes or no, say. No? Yeah. If you say yes, oh, huh, you say, yeah, huh. Secretary.
Thank you for that, Abraham. Could you, and the next time, please use your microphone? The motion to table did carry, 10 yes, 8 no. So we move on. Yes, you have a 2 o'clock with IHS. Motion to table did pass. 10-8. No, the yeses. I am too. Okay, next one. HHS, that's it. The Yvonne Ito Title 4E was yesterday, and it's late to come back tomorrow with the report with decisions. So then we move to Land Committee. Nothing. We don't. That's what I'm saying. Chancey Wilson.
That's all for the regular session. The rest of it's all unfinished
All
business.
on unfinished business.
Yep.
Okay. All right. OST Law and Order Committee. Moving on. We did letter A already. And then I have, the next one is, authorizing the Oglala Sioux Tribe Department of Public Safety to apply for the Bureau of Indian Affairs Highway Safety Child Protection Grant for fiscal year 2018. So who is the committee chair? Stanley is, who's the vice chair? Yes, you can.
Resolution of the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council of the Oglala Sioux Tribe and Unincorporated Tribe. Resolution of the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council authorizing the Oglala Sioux Tribe Department of Public Safety to apply for Bureau of Indian Affairs Indian Highway Safety Child Protection Grant for fiscal year 2018. Whereas the Oglala Sioux Tribe reorganized under Section 16 of the 1934 Indian Reorganization Act, 25 U.S.C. subsection 476, by adopting a federally approved constitution and bylaws. And whereas under its inherent sovereignty and Article 4, Section 1A of the Tribal Constitution, the Tribal Council is also empowered to negotiate with the federal government on behalf of the tribe. And whereas the Chief of Police and his staff have proposed to apply for the Bureau of Indian Affairs Indian Highway Safety Child Protection Grant, as we have a car seat law requiring all children to be in a car seat while riding in a motor vehicle. And because of the high unemployment rate and the poverty levels, caretakers are not able to purchase car seats for their children. And whereas this grant will give free car seats to all children who need one, and will improve the safety of all children on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation while traveling in a motor vehicle. And whereas the OST Department of Public Safety has successfully implemented and utilized this grant in past years and firmly believes this grant will continue to help the OST Department of Public Safety further its mission and protect the children of the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. And whereas the Oglala Sioux Tribe Law and Order / Finance Committee met on, and I don't have the days of that, of 2017, and approved this resolution to be forwarded to Tribal Council. Now therefore be it resolved, the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council does hereby authorize the Oglala Sioux Tribe Department of Public Safety to apply for the Bureau of Indian Affairs Indian Highway Safety Child Protection Grant for fiscal year 2018. With that, I so move.
Question, Secretary.
Just to add at the end, another be it further resolved that the tribal president is authorized to execute.
Okay, all right.
With that, we have a motion by Sonia Weston, seconded by Collins Clifford. Call for the vote.
Blaine Little Thunder.
Oh.
Jim Meeks.
Yes.
Austin Watkins. Chancey Wilson.
Yes.
Stephanie Leisure.
Yes.
Valentina Merdanian.
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller. James Cross.
Yes.
Ella Giancarlo. Richard Greenwell.
Yes.
Robin Tapio. Philip Goodcrow.
Oh.
David Puyer. Sonia Lilhawk Weston. Jackie Sears. Colin C.J. Clifford. Lisa Jumping Eagle DeLeon. Craig Dillon.
Yes.
Motion carried 16 yes and 2 not voting. Thank you, Council. Thank you, Committee. We
The
have
next-
one more.
Yes, I'll turn that over to Robin. She'll read that one.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Resolution of the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council of the Oglala Sioux Tribe and Unincorporated Tribe. Resolution of the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council authorizing the Oglala Sioux Tribe Department of Public Safety to apply for a Bureau of Indian Affairs Highway Safety Law Enforcement (ALLI) grant for fiscal year 2018. Whereas the Oglala Sioux Tribe reorganized under Section 16 of the 1934 Indian Reorganization Act, 25 U.S.C. subsection 476 by adopting a federally approved constitution and bylaws. And whereas under its inherent sovereignty in Article 4, Section 1A of the Tribal Constitution, the Tribal Council is also empowered to to negotiate with the federal government on behalf of the tribe. And whereas the Chief of Police and his staff have proposed to apply for the Bureau of Indian Affairs Indian Highway Safety Law Enforcement (ALLI) grant, and whereas this grant will improve the safety of all residents and visitors of the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation by enforcing motor vehicle laws and while adding specific staff for this purpose. And whereas the OST Department of Public Safety believes the Highway Safety Program is an essential and integral part of its law enforcement operation. And whereas the OST Department of Public Safety has successfully implemented and utilized this grant in past years and firmly believes this grant will help the OST Department of Public Safety to further its mission and protect the people of the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. And whereas the Oglala Sioux Tribe Law and Order / Finance Committee met on, and then it didn't have the day in there, 2017, and approved this resolution to be forwarded to Tribal Council. Now therefore be it resolved, the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council does hereby authorize the Oglala Sioux Tribe Department of Public Safety to apply for the Bureau of Indian Affairs Bureau of Indian Affairs Indian Highway Safety Law Enforcement (LE) grant for the fiscal year 2018. With that, I move.
Motion by Robin Tapio, seconded by Collins Clifford.
Amen.
Call for the vote, please.
And then just to, another be it further resolved for the tribal president to execute the grant documents. Blaine Little Thunder.
Oh.
Jim Meeks.
Yes.
Austin Watkins. Chauncey Wilson. Stephanie Leisure.
Yes.
Valentina Merdanian.
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller.
Yes.
James Cross. Ella Giancarlo.
Yes.
Richard Greenwell.
Yes.
Robin Tapio.
Huh.
Philip Goodcrow.
Nope.
David Puyer. Sonia Little Hawk Weston. Jackie Sears.
Huh.
Colin C.J. Clifford.
How?
Lisa Jumping Eagle Dalion. Craig Dillon.
Yes.
Motion did carry, 17 yes, 1 no. Question, Tina Merdanian?
No comment. When these programs or these entities are applying for these grants, they need to put the amount in there and for how many years that they're applying for this grant. That needs to be listed on there in the resolutions.
Duly noted.
And the dates.
And the date.
They're incomplete.
Lydia Bearkiller.
Okay, I left for a few seconds to go into a conference call, and we have good news. Jim Driving Hawk announced today that their ABA staffing will no longer be a part of this IHS. And we have two entities that are coming in. And that's Central Care Incorporated out of Alexandria, Virginia, and the other one is Tribal Emergency Medicine out of Scottsdale, Arizona. So them two would be coming in for ED, the ED contract. So I'm glad. Tribal Emergency Medicine. And they want to thank Scott and being at the table and make sure that we were heard and changes were made.
Thank you, but I don't believe that's necessary. I believe that's my job. You know, but I do thank you for that acknowledgement. You know, and when we did go up there, I was really wishing Dave and Richard and Ella John and CJ would have stayed for that second day, because that's the next day, the following day, that I attended the IHS contractor selection process. But those were two of the very, very top end, you know, because one of them is more specialized than the others. But then in order to not intermingle them, they set them different parameters of what they can handle, but to be more available rather than just jumping them on a plane and taking them off, and you know, they could do what they needed to do in less money. So that's how this thing came about. So it was a process, but I believe that it was my job to make sure that we didn't get back AB staffing, because they were one of the 7 candidates that were selected to be boarded on there. So I believe we as a tribe did have a big say in that. So thank yourselves too. Collins Clifford.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to apologize for not staying for that second day, but my understanding and my TA was only allowable for that first day with us, so.
That's fine. Stephanie Leisure.
I believe Law and Order has one more, the Chief of Police.
Is that under the unfinished business? Or is that the 2/3 or the unfinished business? Yeah, we're still on the regular agenda.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll now take 5 minutes, and then we'll start in with my agenda. I have 4 of them that we need to deal with. The audit, well, that's why we're just going to take, I'm hoping they be here at 4. Yeah. So we have time.
medicine.
No ties to AP staffing.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
AD staffing.
That was the first question that I asked.
Yeah. If there's no IHS, manipulators are manipulators.
It had nothing to do with, this was the contract office out of Washington. We'll adjourn tomorrow. And then on Friday morning, we'll
I'm just gonna see if I can reschedule my.
What? If you have to hold it. Do we have a quorum? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 right there sitting. We have enough. We have 17 right now. So we can, what do you need, Tina? Do you need something? Okay. Okay, all right. So now we'll get back into session. I have 4, like I said, I had 2 previously. The first one, Donna, if you would read the first resolution.
It's ordinance of the Oglala Tribal Council of the Oglala Tribe and unincorporated tribe. Ordinance of the Oglala Tribal Council to extend a tuition waiver to Oglala Lakota tribal members who have attained the age of 60 years and older who desire to pursue a post-secondary degree at Oglala Lakota College. Whereas the Oglala Tribe adopted its constitution and bylaws by referendum vote on December 14th, that should be 1935, in accordance with Section 16 of the Indian Reorganization Act of 1934, 23 USC, and it's supposed to be 5123. And under Article 3 of the Oglala Tribal Constitution, the Oglala Tribal Council is the governing body of the Oglala Tribe. And whereas the Oglala Tribal Council is empowered pursuant to the authority granted by Article 4, Section 1W of the Oglala Tribal Council Constitution to adopt laws protecting and promoting the health and general welfare of the Oglala Tribe and its membership. And whereas the Oglala Tribal Council under Article 4, Section 1O chartered the Oglala Lakota College, OLC, as a subordinate chartered organization for the purpose providing GED completion and higher education programs for Oglala tribal members. And whereas the Oglala Tribal Council hereby extends a tuition waiver to Oglala tribal members who have attained the age of 60 years and older and the opportunity to pursue a post-secondary education degree. And whereas tribal members who qualify under this tuition waiver will be subject to the same academic requirements and standards as other OLC students. And whereas tribal members who qualify under this tuition waiver will be required to submit a one-page statement indicating their commitment to attend classes and request a scholarship for the costs of books and fees. Now therefore be it ordained that the Oglala Tribal Council hereby extends a tuition waiver to tribal members who have attained the age of 60 years of age and older who desire to pursue a post-secondary educational degree and allowing their request for book and fees scholarships from the Oglala Lakota College, and be it further ordained that this tuition waiver will become effective January 1 of 2017. Okay, it has to be 2018.
2018.
2018.
Motion by Collins. Question?
Yeah, I do. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess this is just my own personal thought here, but if if you're gonna give somebody a free tuition, I think they should be held to some kind of standard as maybe a 2.5 GPA or some kind of grade point average, I guess. That's just my comment, thank you.
Would you like to add that in there?
They will be subject to the same academic requirements.
Well, on the fourth whereas, it says, those who qualify under this tuition waiver will be subject to the same academic requirements as students as other OLCs from other students the same way. Is there something that you want to add in there?
My concern is, I guess, they're getting a free tuition, so they should be held, that's almost like getting some sort of scholarship, so I believe they should be held to some kind of standard for having that free.
And we can add that in there if you want to state that in there.
I guess I would, but I'm not the motion maker.
But you can,
They automatically have to fall underneath the guidelines.
please use your microphone. Thank you.
They would fall underneath the criteria as far as grade point levels to maintain that status. They just can't go in and go all year without having that grade level. They have to participate, and they have to be there and get that certain grade level to continue. That's already written in when you go into there. But like Chairman said, if you'd like, we could add that 2.0 average.
Or 2.5.
The federal government owes our people anyway, and trying to put stipulations on, it would be just fine just the way it is read.
Okay, so that's your motion?
My motion.
My motion by Collins Clifford. Second, comment. Jackie Sears.
Was this discussed anytime with OLC? Are they on board with it, or what's the thought on this? And did it come through Education Committee?
Yes. Yeah. That's how it got over here. Yeah. It's been there for a long time. And that's why it sat stagnant, so I grabbed it and brought it. Yeah.
Oh, Ramon.
Yeah, Ramon brought it, so it came through my office, and so that's why I've been trying to put it on there forever and ever and ever, because we discussed this at the casino back in June. So it was tabled to bring it back and to reaffirm it, to put it back together, put some teeth to it. But anyway.
Yeah, my concern was on OLC.
We have a motion by Collins Clifford.
You didn't answer my question on OLC.
Okay.
Did OLC aware of this, or was there conversation with them?
Ramon brought that forward with direction from OLC.
Seconded by Lydia Bearkiller. Questions? Call for the vote, please.
Blaine Little Thunder.
Oh.
Jim Meeks.
You bet.
Austin Watkins. Chauncey Wilson.
No.
Stephanie Leisure.
No.
Valentina Merdanian.
You know, I think if we're gonna do it for one group, we need to do it for another group that have served our people. So with that, I vote no.
Lydia Bearkiller.
Yes.
James Cross.
Yes.
Ella John Carlo.
Yes.
Richard Greenwell.
Of course.
Robin Tapio.
Uh-huh.
Philip Goodcrow. David Puyer.
Yes.
Sonia Little Hawk Weston.
Ha.
Jackie Sears.
Yeah.
CJ Clifford.
How?
Lisa Jumping Eagle DeLeon. Craig Dillon.
Yes.
Motion carried, 14 yes, 4 no. Thank you, Council. Our next one is a resolution of the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council to request an amendment to Public Law 93-638, the Indian Self-Determination and Education Assistance Act of 1975 to include the Department of Veterans Affairs and the Department of Labor. That is the resolution. If you would read it, please.
Whereas the Oglala Sioux Tribe has adopted its constitution and bylaws by referendum vote of December 14, 1935, in accordance with Section 16 of the Indian Reorganization Act of 1934, 25 U.S.C. subsection 5123, and under Article 3 of the Oglala Sioux Tribe Constitution, the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council is the governing body of the Oglala Sioux Tribe. And whereas the Indian Self-Determination and Education Assistance Act of 1975, Public Law 93-638, authorizes Secretary of the Interior and Secretary of Health, Education and Welfare, Health and Human Services, and some other government agencies to enter into contracts with and make grants directly to federally recognized Indian tribes. And whereas two other federal agencies, the Department of Veterans Affairs and the Department of Labor, operate on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation and play a vital role in the lives of our Lakota veterans. And in the reporting of the unemployment factors on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation without tribal government input. And whereas the Department of Veterans Affairs has offices and services located extremely long distances from the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation and has difficulty in attempting to serve the veterans who reside on the reservation. And likewise, veterans have difficulty attempting to utilize the services due to their lack of confidence in the non-medical VA service providers. And whereas the Department of Labor utilizes the state of South Dakota to provide employment services to Oglala Sioux tribal members, which include tribal member veterans, and is responsible for providing reports to the United States government as the prime information source regarding the employment situation and any information, either positive or negative, regarding the potential workforce on a reservation. Now therefore be it resolved that the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council hereby requests that the South Dakota Congressional Delegation and the Great Plains Tribal Chairmen's Association assist the Oglala Sioux Tribe in effectuating an amendment to PL 93-638, the Indian Self-Determination and Education Assistance Act, to include the Department of Veteran Affairs and Department of Labor.
Motion by Collins Clifford, seconded by Robin Tapio. Call for the vote, please.
Lane Little Thunder.
Oh.
Jim Meeks.
Yes.
Austin Watkins.
Oh.
Chauncey Wilson.
Yes.
Stephanie Leisure.
Yes.
Valentina Merdanian.
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller.
Yes.
James Cross.
Yes.
Ella Giancarlo.
Yes.
Richard Greenwald.
Yes.
Robin Tapio.
Huh.
Philip Goodcrow.
Ho.
David Puyer. Sonia Lilhawk Weston. Jackie Sears.
Huh.
CJ Clifford.
Ho.
Lisa Jumping Eagle DeLeon. Craig Dillon.
Yes.
Unanimous, 18.
Unanimous, 18, 4-0 no. Thank you, Council. The next one is the resolution approving the Oglala Sioux Tribe approving sharing earth facts report on Dakota Access Pipeline issues with other litigation plaintiffs, scientific experts, and technical teams for purposes of coordination and development of the issues. Well, if you remember, I put it on my agenda yesterday. I have two that I added on for yesterday on my agenda. Go ahead if you want to read the resolution.
Whereas the Oglala Sioux Tribe adopted its constitution and bylaws by referendum vote on December 14, 1935, in accordance with Section 16 of the Indian Reorganization Act of 1934, 25 U.S.C. subsection 5123, and under Article 3 of the Constitution, the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council is the governing body of the Oglala Sioux Tribe. And whereas the tribal constitution authorizes the tribal council in Article 4, Section 1A to negotiate with federal, state, and local governments on behalf of the tribe. And in Section 1F to manage all economic affairs and enterprises of the tribe. And whereas the tribe is a plaintiff in a lawsuit against the United States Army Corps of Engineers and Dakota Access LLC concerning the Dakota Access Pipeline. And whereas prior to filing its complaint against the United States Army Corps of Engineers and Dakota Access LLC, the tribe worked in coordination with its fellow Sioux tribes in an effort to stop the Dakota Access Pipeline through work with the Obama administration, congressional offices, and supporting the then existing plaintiff tribes in the litigation in Standing Rock Sioux Tribe, Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe, and Yankton Sioux Tribe. And whereas the attorneys for the tribe, the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe, the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe, and the Yankton Sioux Tribe have entered into a common interest agreement so that they can share information on a confidential basis to coordinate arguments, action steps, and strategy in their efforts against the Dakota Access Pipeline. And whereas the tribe hired Earthfax Engineering Group, LLC, to prepare a report to analyze the environmental assessment conducted for the Dakota Access Pipeline, and this report was used in the litigation and served as a key document in the district court's memorandum opinion, which found the Corps' environmental review of the project to be inadequate in certain respects and ordered the Corps to address 3 issues on remand. Number 1, the degree to which the effects on the environment are likely to be highly controversial. Number 2, impacts of operation of the pipeline on hunting and fishing rights. And number 3, environmental justice. And whereas the tribe hired Earthfax Engineering Group, LLC, to complete another study on the expected impacts to the Maniwechoni project, which has been completed and held by the tribe. And whereas to prepare for the Corps' remand process on the aforementioned court-ordered remand issues, the attorneys for the tribe shared the second Earthfax Engineering Group, LLC report with the attorneys for the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe and the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe under the common interest agreement on a confidential basis. And whereas attorneys for the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe and Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe have asked whether they can share the second Earthfax report with their scientific experts and technical teams in an effort to coordinate expert reports and issues for the Corps' remand process. And whereas the tribes consenting to the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe and Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe's attorneys request to share the second Earthfax report with their scientific experts and technical teams would accord with the coordinated and cooperative approach the plaintiff tribes have taken in the Dakota Access Pipeline issue, save time among the tribes, and further coordinate a strategy. And whereas the tribe could consent to the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe and the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe's experts and technical teams reviewing the second Earthfax report on the condition that they keep the report confidential and not share it with persons other than their experts and technical teams. And whereas the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe's attorney has also asked whether its experts and technical teams can talk with the tribe's expert from Earthfax about his work and findings. And whereas having the plaintiff tribe's experts and technical teams confer with each other about the issues aligns with the coordinated and cooperative approach undertaken by the plaintiff tribes thus far on the Dakota Access Pipeline matter. And whereas the tribe has considered the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe and Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe's attorney's requests, the issues associated with these requests and the benefits of continued coordination among the tribes on the Dakota Access Pipeline issue. Now therefore be it resolved that the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council does hereby consent to the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe and Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe's attorneys sharing the second Earthfax report with their scientific experts and technical teams on the condition that they keep the report confidential and not share it with persons other than their experts and technical teams unless they have specific permission to do so by the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council. And be it further resolved that the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council does hereby consent to the experts and technical teams of the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe and the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe conferring on a confidential basis with the tribe's expert from Earthfax Engineering Group, LLC, about issues related to the Dakota Access Pipeline.
Motion by Collins Clifford. We have a question by Ella John.
Thank you, Chair. I believe this came out of a meeting we had with individuals up in Flandreau. Am I correct? Was that where that was? Or somewhere I remember? But I guess I just need a clarification that there's no more fees tied to this. Our fees, are we paid already for our portion of this?
As far as I know, we are paid in full. Okay, seconded by Robin Tapio. Call for the vote.
Blaine Little Thunder.
Oh.
Jim Meeks.
Yes.
Austin Watkins.
Oh.
Chancey Wilson.
Yes.
Stephanie Leisure.
Yes.
Valentina Merdanian.
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller.
Yes.
James Cross.
Yes.
Ella Giancarlo.
Yes.
Richard Greenwell.
Yes.
Robin Tapio. Philip Goodcrow.
Oh.
David Puyer.
Yes.
Sonia Little Hawk Weston. Jackie Sears.
Huh.
CJ Clifford.
How?
Lisa Jumpin' Eagle DeLeon. Craig Dillon.
18 yes, 0 no. Thank you, council. I have one more, and this is the resolution by the Great Plains Tribal Chairmen's Association supporting the campaign candidacy for Chairman Harold Fraser for NCAI Chairman, which the vote will be in 2 weeks. So would the secretary please read the resolution?
We will we will format this into a council resolution, but I will read this resolution. It's the endorsement of Chairman Harold C. Fraser for the position of President of the National Congress of American Indians at the 2017 Annual Conference. Whereas the Great Plains Tribal Chairmen's Association, GPTCA, is composed of 16 elected chairs and presidents or their duly appointed representatives of the sovereign Indian tribes and nations recognized by treaties entered with the United States that are within the Great Plains region of the Bureau of Indian Affairs. And whereas the Great Plains Tribal Chairmen's Association was formed to promote the common interests of the Great Plains sovereign Indian tribes and their members in the states of North Dakota, South Dakota, and Nebraska. And whereas the United States has obligated itself both through treaties entered with the sovereign nations, sovereign tribes and nations of the Great Plains region, and through its own federal statutes, laws, the Constitution, international law, and well-articulated policies, the United States has pledged to protect Indian tribes, guarantee the right of tribal self-government, protection, and safety, and to promote the viability of Indian reservations and lands as permanent homelands for Indian tribes. And whereas there are many challenges facing the tribes in the United States of America, among them protection of Indian sovereignty, policies, programs, meaningful consultation, and advancement of economic development for all tribal nations. And whereas historically the leadership of the tribal nations in the Great Plains region have contributed to the foundation and establishment of the principles and purpose of the National Congress of American Indians. And whereas it is essential the current leadership of the National Congress of American Indians understand the foundation and purpose upon which the NCAI was founded, and to be able to advocate for the tribes of the GPTCA, for tribal nations throughout the United States and our future generations. And whereas in the recent years, the GPTCA has expressed concern over some of the actions of the NCAI in that the organization is not necessarily representing the views of the elected leadership. And whereas the GPTCA believes in the purpose of NCAI as established in 1944 to protect and advance tribal governments and treaty rights, and the tribal leaders have taken action to support Chairman Harold Fraser for president of the NCAI, and whereas Chairman Harold Fraser of the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe was chosen by the Akichita of several tribes to receive a great honor and the right to wear eagle feathers. A headdress was placed upon him in gratitude and respect for standing up for the people and for leadership from spiritual leaders, the people of his tribe, and veterans. And whereas Harold Fraser Tahunskaluta, his red leggings, has demonstrated proven leadership management for his tribe. As chairman of the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe, he was elected by all the tribal leaders of the Great Plains region to lead the Great Plains Tribal Chairmen's Association and serves nationally in leadership of such organizations as past area vice president for NCAI, Great Plains representative to Tribal Interior Budget Council, vice chairman of the Coalition of Large Tribes, among other leadership experiences. And whereas Tribal Chairman Mr. Frazier presides over the Tribal Council managing the natural resources and enterprises for more than 20,923 tribal members with a land base of over 2 million acres. He has been involved in numerous government-to-government sovereignty negotiations, jurisdictional and natural resources matters, and oversees a reservation whose boundaries extend across 2 counties with multiple jurisdictions in historical treaty lands. And whereas Chairman Frazier has served tribal nations regionally, nationally, and has proven leadership dedicated to protecting our environment, our water, and sovereign rights for the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe, water protectors, and Indian country. And whereas as tribal leaders, we have witnessed firsthand repeated attacks on tribal sovereignty, natural resources, and tribal rights, and the road ahead is full of challenges. The time has come for a strong, experienced spiritual leadership to take control of NCAI. And whereas in controversies such as the recent DAPL and Keystone XL fights, Chairman Frazier has proven his leadership and willingness to advocate for all our people and be a strong voice for sovereignty, tribal rights, the health, safety, and welfare of Indian country, and has proven his abilities to stand up against the federal government and the forces that seek to limit tribal sovereignty and self-sufficiency. And whereas Chairman Frazier has also shown a keen awareness that the youth, our future generations and leaders, many of whom know little about NCAI, they must be encouraged to stand with Indian country leadership and become engaged in Indian affairs on the national as well as grassroots level so that NCAI remains a strong, relevant, and powerful force for all Indian country. Now, therefore, be it resolved after careful consideration, the GPTCA wholeheartedly supports and endorses Chairman Harold Frazier for the position of Chairman of the National Congress of American Indians and urges other tribes to also support Chairman Frazier. And be it further resolved, the great GPTCA herein urges all tribal nations to meet Chairman Harold Frazier and make note of the qualities his leadership brings to all member nations of the National Congress of American Indians. We are confident Frazier will listen to all tribal nations, including those who have unique, large land and natural resource issues, and will effectively work to meet all challenges. And be it finally resolved that this resolution shall be the policy of the Great Plains Tribal Chairmen's Association until otherwise amended or rescinded, or until the goal of this resolution has been accomplished.
Motion by Richard Greenwald, seconded by Ella John and C.J. Clifford. Clarify, if you would, please.
I think the first 2 whereas clauses will be substituted with the standard Oglala Sioux Tribe whereas clauses. The references to Great Plains Tribal Chairmen's Association will be replaced with tribes of the Great Plains or Great Plains tribes. When it says the Great Plains Tribal Chairmen's Association does something, it'll say the Oglala Sioux Tribal Council. The final be it resolved clause will be stricken.
Okay. Is that fine with the motion maker and the seconds? Okay. Anything else? Call for the vote, please.
Blaine Little Thunder.
Oh.
Jim Meeks.
Yes.
Austin Watkins. Chancey Wilson.
Yes.
Stephanie Leisure.
Yes.
Valentina Merdanian.
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller.
Yes.
James Cross.
Yes.
Ella John Carlo.
Yes.
Richard Greenwald.
Yes.
Robin Tapio.
Huh.
Philip Goodcrow.
No.
David Puyer. Sonia Lilhawk Weston. Jackie Sears. C.J. Clifford. Lisa Jumping Eagle Dalleon. Craig Dillon.
Yes.
Unanimous.
18 yes, 0 no. Thank you very much, council. Just an FYI, I will be getting the agenda for that meeting. Also FYI, during that time at NCAI, we will be getting awarded the grant to help start our fire departments. So I will be receiving that at that time also. So that'll be a good time for us. Dave Puyer.
Chairman, yes, or when we started, are they waiving the fees for us to be?
Well, and that's, I was also just going to get to that just now. What I did was this morning and yesterday, I was talking with Harold Fraser, and he sent me the emails for the forms to fill out the waivers to be able to vote, because we are not members of NCAI, but they're granting us that authority or permission or whatever to be able to vote. So I did forward them from my email to Ann in my office to be able to print them up so you can fill them out, so everybody will be able to have that vote. So that will be afforded to you when we're finished here this evening.
Okay, but I guess the next thing is, then we need a resolution from this body authorizing you to vote, because I think NCAI requires that.
You want the motion and resolution form?
Right, because I think that's what it takes, is a resolution form from the tribe authorizing you to vote at NCAI. I'll make that motion.
Motion by David Puyer, seconded by, what's your name again? No, okay, all right. Richard Greenwald. Question. Sonia West.
Question, Mr. President, they are going to waive our membership fee then, huh?
Yes, they will. We just have to fill out that form requesting waiver.
Okay.
Okay. Lydia Bearkiller.
So do we have only one vote? My understanding was we have more than one vote. Yeah. The Oglala Sioux tribe has more than one vote. Yeah, we have a big.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's why Ann has the waivers.
I think if council goes, they have a vote.
Yep.
Just one per tribe.
Yep.
Just one per tribe.
Dave. Name who's going to be able, and we can add all of the names on council, whomever is going to attend.
Only one person can vote per tribe.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's
Your vote may be weighted.
Huh?
It may be a weighted vote, but I think the person doing voting, I don't see for sure.
Okay. We have, who's hollering president? Somebody's hollering president here. Chicago, Illinois. Is it Milwaukee? I was told. Oh, I'm sorry, Milwaukee. Downtown. No, Milwaukee. Milwaukee, it's about 150 miles apart. Okay, we have a motion on the floor. We have a seconded by Collins Clifford.
No.
Call for the vote, please.
Richard Greenwald.
Oh, I'm sorry, Richard Greenwald.
Blaine Little Thunder.
Oh.
Jim Meeks.
Yes.
Austin Watkins.
Oh.
Chancey Wilson.
Yes.
Stephanie Leisure.
Yes.
Valentina Merdanian.
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller.
Yes.
James Cross.
Yes.
Ella Giancarlo.
Yes.
Richard Greenwald.
Yes.
Robin Tapio.
Huh.
Philip Goodcrow.
Oh.
David Puyer. Sonia Little Hawk Weston.
Huh?
Jackie Sears. CJ Clifford. Lisa Jumpin' Eagle DeLeon. Craig Dillon.
Yes.
Unanimous 18.
Unanimous, 18 yes, 0 no. Thank you, council. That's all for the president's agenda. The vice president was at the women's prison today. So we will move on to the secretaries. She's visiting. See, Secretary now has her agenda.
Thank you. Council, I have the Tribal Council minutes for July 5th, 6th, and the 28th of 2017 for approval.
Motion, I was just waiting for the secretary to get her paperwork ready. Got a motion by Craig Dillon, seconded by Dave Poyer. Call for the vote.
Blaine Little Thunder.
Oh.
Jim Meeks.
Yes.
Austin Watkins. Chancey Wilson.
Yes.
Stephanie Leisure.
Yes.
Valentino Merdanian.
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller.
Yes.
James Cross.
Yes.
Ella Giancarlo.
Yes.
Richard Greenwald.
Yes.
Robin Tapio.
Huh.
Philip Goodcrow. David Poyer. Sonia Little Hawk Weston.
Ha.
Jackie Sears.
Ha.
CJ Clifford. Lisa Jumpin' Eagle De Leon.
Oh, ha.
Craig Dillon.
Unanimous, 18 yes, 0 no. Mr. James Cross.
There's a request from one of our tribal members about if the minutes were being posted on the tribe's website, because they didn't see anything for a while. So just a question to the secretary.
I think our records department, once it's all approved, then it goes to our records department. And from there, I think they send them on, but I will check to make sure that it's getting to our Karen Eagle and Justin.
Yep.
Justin LeBeau.
Yeah. Well, Mason's upstairs, and I think most of his report is about with the auditors. So what we'll do is we'll go with Jim, because the auditors are not going to be here till 4:15 anyway. But we can move to the fifth member, and then we'll go back to the treasurer. So if Mr. Red Willow would come.
Just a couple items. How many got the agenda for the meeting in Rapid City in their boxes? Great Plains Tribal Chairmen's Association and the Oglala Sioux Tribe. If not, here's the agenda. I'm going to pass that on to you. Seventh and eighth. Give one to Steve here too.
Yeah.
think Pete Pipe needs to be recognized. L&I Tumblers out of Combat Alley, Pioneer, South Dakota.
This is just information. We're having a discussion with Gay Kingman, and she was interested in getting an attorney, Robert Tim Coulter, who's worked with United Nations for a number of years. And we had him down last year, but there wasn't too much in attendance at the casino. In fact, I think just John and Donna were there, John Steele. So in discussing that with her, we decided that the Tribal Chairmen's Association would kick in half to have this a meeting here. So we put together this agenda, and this is what the agenda is coming out to be. And then for those that are out in the listening audience of the radio, this is a Great Plains Tribal Chairmen's Association of Oglala Sioux Tribe, and this is October 7th and 8th at the Ramkota. And the agenda is as such here: posting colors in the opening prayer by Mr. Broken Nose and Pete Capicella, who's an attorney for Standing Rock. Those of you might have, I think last administration, Pete Capicella's book was given out at a workshop at the casino. And it's a very informative book about all the legal happenings concerning our Missouri River water rights. And I don't know how many of the last administration got a copy of that book, but any of the new council here that wants a copy of that book, please let my office know and we'll get you a copy of that book. And he'll be there to present on Saturday morning. Now, Tim Coulter, he's got some attorneys that work with his office there out of DC, but his office is in Helena, Montana. And his wife just had a stroke here, a bad stroke, and he's been taking care of her, but he's got an on-staff attorney that's going to be there that also knows. Now, the United Nations Tribal Traditional Governments and the Trump administration, that's a whole mouthful, but we all know what Trump's trying to do with tribal governments and the indigenous people. And one of the things that we're going to have during this session is that the UN Declaration on Indigenous Rights. And we're going to have Bill Means, who's with the International Treaty Council, Black Hills Sioux Nation Council, have copies of that declaration for everybody. And that's a very important document that all our lawsuits and all that are going to be based on across Indian lands. So I hope, and the rates are $99, so I hope those of you that can make it there. Okay, that's it for that. Is there any questions on that? Okay, the next thing I wanted to kind of explain what we've been working on. Donna? And this kind of covers a lot of ground. And we've been working on this for a while with the archives. recently, we've been working with Ann out of President's office to keep him informed of what's going on. But previously, we've been working with a core group, the Black Hills Sioux Nation Council, and several others trying to get our archives going here. A lot of stuff in our archival place there at OLC is filled up in the basement. They've got everything under there, including tribal documents. And a lot of those tribal documents are, from what I went through, several of them, and Donna knows about that, that there are minutes, and then there's other stuff that doesn't even need to be in archives. It should be probably shredded. So with that, we've had a series of meetings to try to get grants, etc., and we Tawa Dushino, who's in charge of the archives, OLC's, got a grant to determine what space we need, where it's going to be, what types. There's a lot of stuff that we need to be in a temperature-controlled environment. A lot of our archival stuff there that, like costumes, eagle feathers, and other artifacts, they need to be in a temperature-controlled environment, and OLC Archives doesn't have that capacity yet. So our goal is to try to get that. Now, one of the things that a lot of you remember is the 1976 agreement with the National Park Service. And there's language inside that agreement saying that they would fund a visitor center. Now, to determine what all would involve being a visitor center, that it can also be a museum. So the location, and we've had Superintendent Flom from Badlands National Park at a couple of our meetings. And we've had discussions with him regarding that agreement. And one of the things with that agreement is that language is still there, and the government is still obligated to provide that visitor center to us. In the past, there's been locations, but now there's several locations that we've discussed. One is across the south of the White River Visitor Center. There's tribal land. One is right there at OLC in their land there that they have where the college is at. So there's a lot of things that that need to be discussed. Now that's the tribal part of it. OLC, they're going after separate grants. They're applying for 2 grants right now. So eventually, we hope that this would be a reality, and we know it's going to be a reality just because of the fact that there's determined people that are going to make this a reality. Just like OLC was at one time just an idea, but eventually became a reality. So we've been working on that. Our next scheduled meeting is going to be in October. It was supposed to have been in August, to give the National Park Service time for them to determine what their funds are going to be like after July 1. So we're hopeful that we can have a solid product to present before the council to go forth with whatever idea that we come up with in terms of size and what it's going to cover. So I guess that's it with those 2 items that I just wanted to bring forth right now to let the council know. One thing about OLC I wanted to mention, Harold Frazier would not have been able to do all those things until he graduated from OLC. So he's a OLC graduate there. He likes to mention that too, that he's a product of OLC. So too bad we didn't put that in that resolution.
Question, Dave Poyer, and then Robin Tapio.
Jim, just one question. The documents that are at OLC, is there any there now that needs to be under that temperature-controlled archives?
No, they're just boxes of documents in a basement. I think that's temperature controlled enough for those documents. There's also some that are scattered across the reservation, boxes of documents. Someone brought to my attention too, at Billy Mills Hall, there's some medical records that have some kids' social security numbers and medical information. So that is another place. And I think over at transportation, there's some, housing has records. So we got records all over the place, I guess. But OLC is one place where they need to get those out of there.
I guess that, because at one time, the Bureau offered to the tribe to put, if they had anything that they want to put, then the tribe needed to work it out so they could send them to the archives in Lenexa, Kansas. So if, that's why I said if there's any of these documents that need to be protected at present, then we need to start looking for that controlled temperature archive system so that we don't lose them.
Yeah, I guess that would be beyond the capability of my office, sir. I'd leave it up to, I'll leave it up to Donna and them to see what can be done to manage that. I thought we had a grant at one time to put that stuff electronically, to get all those minutes and all that in a database somewhere, or...
Robin Tapio.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And thank you, Jim, for the fifth member's report. I was just going to motion to approve his report. Thank you.
Motion by Robin Tapio, seconded by... Got one more question. Dave Poyer.
James, where are you at? Because I know we have to do some things. Where are you at with that grant that you received from Shakopee? Is that moving any place?
Okay, on that specific question there, I asked Gary Roos about 2 weeks ago, and that was all contingent upon that agreement that was finally ironed out regarding the nursing home, all that stuff that Shakopee wanted that was finally passed in that resolution. I guess that's what, what's her name, Miko Hernandez wanted, all those stipulations. I guess those were added into that resolution. So far as I know, Gary Roos said, as soon as that resolution was passed and that money's available, as soon as Shakopee gets that money.
Mr. Chairman, if that, then we should be eligible to apply over there for a grant, because my understanding that before, and then Mr. Redwell's, what he submitted needs to be taken care of, so we need to get something in out of your office to Shakopee.
So we would need a letter. Can you draft that letter up?
Every year before September is done, the tribe finance committee needs to come together with a budget approved by finance committee and approved by the council. They changed the stipulations. Before it used to be just the president's office would come together with a budget for it was $1 million, but now it's 500,000. So now they changed the requirements where the finance committee has to get all that done by September. And then their donations committee meets on that in October or November, and that's when they approve. And there's also one in there for Christmas, so that has to be done too before Christmas. Toy money or whatever they call that. So that would be up to, I guess, the finance committee or the treasurer or somebody, one from each district, to break that down, that $500,000, what that needs to be done with. So that's up to the finance committee.
Okay. So we had a motion by Robin Tapio to approve the fifth member's report, seconded by Ella John Carlo. Call for the vote, please.
Blaine Little Thunder.
Oh.
Jim Meeks.
Yes.
Austin Watkins. Chancey Wilson. Stephanie Leisure. Valentina Merdanian.
Yes.
Lydia Bearkiller.
Yes.
James Cross.
Yes.
Ella John Carlo.
Yes.
Richard Greenwell.
Yes.
Robin Tapio. Philip Goodcrow.
Oh.
David Puyer. Sonia Little Hawk Weston.
Ha.
Jackie Sears.
Ha.
Colin C.J. Clifford. Lisa Jumpin' Eagle DeLeon.
Ha.
Craig Dillon.
Yes.
Motion carried, 16 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain, and 2 not voting. Thank you, council.
Mr. President, I have a moment to mention that the fifth member, paper is missing. Years and years I worked here, had the security's help to a council like now, like Dave's, where he's sitting. There's some over here. The ones that you don't need, take it with you. And the ones that you need, keep it with you. And they gave you past time to keep your paperwork because it went out. And I've been telling the secretaries, even the president, vice, public out there were showing that around. And that is why they come and attack your council. Because what they see, and that, some of them are confidential, that they gave you, that you should take it home, and the ones that you need, notify you ahead of time, you'll bring it with you. Because this is very serious, important, you know, that Oglala Sioux tribal government, one of them, that these papers are necessary, very important. The public should be. I saw some by the bridge towards OCS, downtown district, and they were reading that they shouldn't be. The council, when you're gonna go, pack it up, put it away. Ask for those big rubber bands from the property supply, and take it with you, and then when you need, bring it back. That way, because I got chewed out from council. I didn't see that paper. I don't have it. What's wrong? You're supposed to. And there's 6 other workers. So I want to tell you that today, that this paperwork missing, but it's nobody's fault because time there's council chambers doors open and there's security's here, but they have a duty to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Abraham Tobacco. Robin Tapio.
Just a quick comment, Mr. Chair. You know, we can't possibly carry all these stacks of paper with us. So, you know, with all due respect, security does have a job to do. And I don't know what's so hard about locking the door. Thank you.
Okay. Are we finished with that now? I believe we are finished with that. I am looking for the treasurer now. Let's take 5 minutes and let the treasurer come down and start his.
Keep that.
get those reports to you. I don't know if, who else didn't get theirs? I know I gave Wombley's this morning, Wounded Knees this morning. Yours? Okay. Yeah, we've been doing all your expenditures upstairs, so I'll just give you a copy of those expenditures we got. And then the new thing I gave you was everything that came out of the special donation account. And you've seen that, and of course I gave you guys all the general ledgers for special ed, the school clothes account as well too, so you have that. Getting close to the end of the year, we need to have a working session on our general fund budget. So I don't know when you guys want to schedule that. We'll do the same thing we did, put everything up on the big screen, and then we'll go through every single line item. So, and this time we'll separate out, of course, those ones. I'm trying to get and Casey's not in favor of this, but I'm still trying to get the land, all those general fund programs out from underneath the general funds if they have their own funding. So, and we're working on that. Any more questions on this portion? If not, then we have the actual auditors. Oh.
Jackie Sears.
Yeah, Mason, on your report on page 21.
Which one, the budget?
No, it's on the council reps, general fund. Page 21, way at the bottom.
Okay.
We have a third council rep from Porcupine listed on there, and it looks like there's a negative, under travel. Who is that?
There isn't any. There's a few miscodings, and I think that they might be thinking it was Medicine Root or something, but we'll get that straightened out. The only three council reps we have, of course, is Pine Ridge and Medicine Root. So.
No, this was for Porcupine.
I know,
yeah.
It's a miscoding. It says CL3. There's no CL3 actually.
21.
So it'll come out of Chancey's line item, so.
And then on page 63, our general fund, what we projected and what we spent and what's the balance, At this point, there's like 40.90% left.
Yeah.
And that includes all the programs under general fund and all that.
Yeah, for
so
now.
I think, are we gonna, at this point, is that gonna carry us to the end of December, or do we have to sit down and make some cuts?
We're gonna have to go down and make some cuts. There's some big line items we have in the regular, the 834 department that we have to make cuts to. If you look on page 58, there's some of them that we didn't even spend yet. There's some of them that we're overspent, but some of them we didn't even spend at all. So we have to allocate some of those out to either those programs, or I don't know what I think we're over in our we are over in our burial assistance, I think, and then our honorariums. So we need to cover those ones.
And I think we're over on our DC line item for DC trips, and there's some meetings coming up and soon here, so I think we need to do a budget mod, or get something passed right away too to address those.
Yeah.
Because it's going to show in a red.
Yep. So.
Any more questions?
Questions? If not, we have the auditors, so.
Tina Merdanian.
Not to take up any time, but when it comes to the report for Oglala 2, which is my line item, under the supplies, I'm in the negative, and that was the computer for the district. However, it's still coming out of my line item. So can you please get that fixed so that it shows that I do have revenue there to spend for supplies?
Yeah, when we talked last time, we'll get those fixed for you. And I talked to Pete, and we'll code it to the right one, so.
Richard Greenwald.
I need to bring up something, but it needs to be an exec with the treasurer. It should only take a minute. Should.
I will declare executive session at 4:02 PM.